Second day, we woke up early. We met this guy from Airbnb Experiences.
Woke up pretty early. That was the day of Ihsan's birthday on the 24th. So I planned us like a great morning by the desert to wake up and to experience this desert car ride and desert breakfast really early in the morning. I think it was like 4 a.m. in the morning that we woke up. We packed everything to go to the desert. We went to the desert and we experienced this morning sunrise, and that sunrise experience was something out of this world. I only felt like this maybe a couple of times in my life. It was euphoric. It was really the experiences that my heart yearned for.
And this was one of the experiences that I'm probably gonna tell to my kids, to my grandchildren. It was one of the moments, yeah, it really touched my feelings, and the whole thing was so spectacular. So we went to this guy's local camper site where he has a farm, chickens. We had this dopest breakfast, like literally all organic. Parviz was a little sketched out. It's like, yo, probably after this we're gonna go, like we're gonna get some another breakfast, like we're gonna get some dopest breakfast. But that was like top of the line breakfast because everything was so simple, and that's what I was actually looking for throughout this whole experience, just the living the simple life, you know, experiencing those things where you don't usually get here in States. Everything is like bad for your health over here, like whatever you eat. So we had an amazing breakfast. Parviz got to ride on the camel. And for me, it's not that special. Camels are not that special because I'm from Khorazm, where like I probably ride so much camels back in days. Like it's not even that exciting for me.
There was another story of like Ihsan flipping off from like ATV, and literally like that was a dangerous moment. I thought like something bad happened. He flipped from the ATV, and I thought like, man, we cannot afford an accident like this right now, because we already spending so much money and so much time into this project that we cannot risk anyone getting hurt, especially Ihsan. You know, he left his family, his 2 kids, his wife to come on this trip with me, and I was so scared for Ihsan during that time. But next thing you know, he was fine. He was perfectly fine. Nothing really happened, not even a bruise on his leg or his arm. He just came out from that flip like nothing happened. That was like truly a blessing at that moment.
I think we had to rush to our Airbnb, grab our stuff, and catch our flight to Uzbekistan.
And we had 1 hour to like pack everything and make it to the airport. So we packed everything, all of our gear, stuff. And this is the moment where everything changed in the course of our trip for the entirety of our trip. So we packed, and then we went to the airport to fly to Uzbekistan.
We are at the airport. We checked in for our flight. The moment we landed in Uzbekistan, I switched to this Uzbek guy where I had to accept everything that's coming towards my way with no anger, with no issues, because I know like how system works in Uzbekistan. The moment we touched down, I thought we gonna be questioned by like Secret Service or like by the authorities, where have huge problems because we had our US passports, and we basically went into Dubai with those passports, not using our Uzbek passports. So the moment we land in Uzbekistan, we show our Uzbek passports where we have no stamps whatsoever from going in and out of Dubai, in and out of UAE. And I feel like at that moment, the agent that checked our passport, like he knew that we had our second passport.
I'm really like surprised and happy to go to Uzbekistan because I've seen so much advertisements by Nas Daily. That's the same person I worked with in the past, advertising our country online, and I was really sold by all the advertisements to go back to my country and experience the things that I want to experience. So I had big expectations to go to Uzbekistan, spend money and enjoy my time. So next thing you know, we are in the airport, we're about to leave, and the security checkpoint, they realize we have a drone. And that's where the big problem begins. They told me I cannot bring the drone inside the country, and I told them, I'm like, hey, I do YouTube videos, I share my experiences with the world. There is nothing suspecting that I will do. I'm just a person who likes to share the experiences he has online. And they were really strict with the drones. They're like, there's no drone allowed in the entirety of the country.
The funny thing is, they were so focused on the drone, they didn't really care what I was carrying, because I knew that if I have to go to Uzbekistan, I had to bring a weed, I would say. I'm not gonna say how I went through it, but I don't want to discriminate myself. But yeah, I took a little bit of THC into the country where I had to do it just to be like, just to be myself, just to be like, not get overwhelmed by all this terrible stuff that's gonna happen in our trip.
So after leaving the airport, that was Ihsan's birthday, and I had a huge surprise waiting for him. We had like a mariachi band of Uzbekistan waiting right in front of the airport for Ihsan to come out, and like I wanted to make a surprise for him. But by the time I'm out, like they're already playing, and Ihsan doesn't even know it's for him.
It's after me. What's going on? Because Parviz was mentioning that some sort of surprise is waiting for me in Uzbekistan, but I wasn't sure if it was for me. Like, should I act like it was for me? I had no knowledge of what's going on. And out of nowhere, Parviz sprints out from the terminal. He comes, he congratulates me. It was the day for my, it was my birthday. It was a nice surprise, unexpected surprise where I was a little bit confused, but at the same time, happy that such a attention, doing something like out of ordinary, because everybody was like shocked what's going on. They're like looking at it, and yeah, it was a great experience. I got to see my fans.
His fans were waiting in the airport because he announced that he was flying into the country. So one of his fans, they came with Honda Odyssey into the airport. So his fan took us to the hotel that we were staying in, Hilton. That's one of the best. I think that's the best hotel in the entire Uzbekistan. So we stayed in Hilton, Tashkent. So they dropped us off in that location. And next thing you know, I'm like, I don't want to be present right now because I don't want to think about the drone. I don't want to think about how mariachi band was already there and I couldn't like present the gift to Ihsan. I'm like, dude, we have to drink. We have to drink until we don't know our names. So next thing you know, we drink up in the hotel, and then we get pretty tipsy, and then we call the front desk and we ask them to get a cab for us, so we go to Ihsan's relative's house to continue the celebration. So next thing you know, that's what we do. We get the cab, we go and celebrate Ihsan's birthday with his relatives in Tashkent. That was day one in Tashkent.
Second day we woke up, Parviz was telling me his mom is in town and they're inviting us for a breakfast. And in my mind, my first breakfast would be this a local produced yogurt cream, like with freshly baked naan. We were invited this American restaurant, trying to be American restaurant. I was like, dude, like we came to this country to actually like get that nostalgia, get that local produced thing, to enjoy it. For our sandwich and coffee, we probably end up paying like almost what do you pay in the States. I'm like, dude, like this is not a good way to start off our trip. So I told them like, yo, we should after this, I'm gonna take you to a local restaurant where it's like everything is produced and locally. Like we're gonna enjoy our time there. Like I knew some places like where they make like topaz ash, topaz pilaf. We went there, we experienced that food. It was such amazing and cheap. We only end up paying like 10-12 bucks. We had a blast. We had a full tummy, I'm telling you.
When we're still like staying in the hotel, we get to work out. I'm like getting fat and chubby during our trips because I'm eating a lot. We run, we get on the treadmill. I try to at least stay active, not to gain weight, but you know, the work, the filming gets the best of us. So we did that on day one. And then afterwards, Ihsan's cousin picks us up in her car, and to go to like the remote part of like Tashkent, like the mountains, to eat some great food. And during that car ride, when we were going to that mountains, it was devastating how it was. We almost got into a car accident in the mountains, and thanks to Ihsan saved everybody's life during that moment. He held into like the steering wheel just like this, holding it so tight so she can't move because she was panicking, and then she was going right and left, and then I felt like we were gonna flip, and like I thought that during that moment I thought this is the time that we're gonna die. This is the end. I told myself during that moment, Parviz, this is how it ends for you.
One other project that we were doing during our visit in Uzbekistan, actually collaborating with Konsta. He's one of the upcoming rappers in Uzbekistan. He's a very talented guy. He wrote this song for me where we actually talk about like struggles of the Uzbek people, like living conditions, where we shine a light a little bit, how third world country, or like how people from my hometown living in this kind of conditions.
So basically the most expensive part of this trip was the Hilton Hotel. We ended up spending around $2,000, and it was a lot of money. We spent a lot of money there, and plus you know, the snack bar, the alcohol, the hookah, it added it up all more. And that was just us bowling out in Uzbekistan, trying to like have fun. And next thing you know, we're like, yo, dude, let's go to the cheapest hotel that we could find. I think it was like $40, $50 a night. And we ended up staying in this hotel. It was heating up. The AC wasn't working. I was sweating through the night, and we're paying $50 for that place. And it was a hotel. It was owned by Afghans, and it was just awful. Like we complimented the owners. We were like, yo, you have a really nice spot here, but in reality inside we were dying. Like we were dying of like heat. It was so hot, and plus we have people shooting for us. We got a room for them. After this whole thing, we we were meeting up with different editing teams in Uzbekistan so they could help us with the project, but they do not speak a word of English, so they don't understand our footage. It was so difficult to like navigate, and during that time we had to go eat and experience different kind of pilavs in Uzbekistan. There's a place called Bish Qozon. We went there to meet up with this editing team that couldn't help us with our footage. We wanted them to help us, but there was zero effort put into all that footage. So after that, we left Tashkent.
Okay, after all that, we decided to end our trip in Tashkent and actually head out to my boy's town, Samarkand. We wanted to actually travel by train. There's a fast train that recently opened in the country. I actually went to like search across Europe by ticket online, but it ended up I ended up purchasing a regular old, like one of the like old Soviet Union train tracks, and it was such a miserable experience. Like the moment we got there, we went inside the tracks, and the moment we went in, it was like a sauna, probably 120 degrees hot inside. And we started complaining, saying, yo dude, why are we here? Like, why are we torturing ourselves with this BS? Like, we should have just like taken a cab.
And we go there, no AC, so hot. I'm like, Isan, this is not a fast train, and plus I'm dying from eating. Like, I'm sweating the whole, like before the train was moving, we were like sweating so much. And I started to make a couple phone calls to get like 2 cars. I think each one of them cost us like $50 to go to Samarkand. So, but it had air conditioning, it was pretty good. So we ended up canceling that train ride, and we took the cars to go to Samarkand.
We took a 4-hour, 5-hour ride, and during that ride, I had a special moment with one of the videographers that we hired during our stay in Uzbekistan. And this is actually a sad story because the guy actually passed from this unfortunate event. He was a young guy. He was passionate. Yeah. The guy usually is so quiet. Like when we met him, he was a little shy. He was just doing what we told him to do. He wasn't speaking as much, the guy. But at that time, he opened up a little. He's like, I really want to learn. I really want to experience so much in this life. I feel like my potential is so big, but at the same time, my situation is limiting me from being able to do a lot of stuff. What it might be financial, or it might be just the system in that country, where even for us it limited so much, where we could do so much, but we weren't able to. We didn't have those accesses. Sometimes they would tell us to you're not allowed to shoot, or they wouldn't even give us access to the places that they built for tourists to see. So it was a little frustrating for us to operate in that kind of situations. And the guy was I don't know, we bound it in this weird way. Yeah, if I remember that, it's a little sad story.